Hi, today what I was wanting to do is provide some clarity for you around the different terminology we use in the mortgage industry when it comes to pre-qualification, pre-approval, underwriting approval, all of these different approvals. And there is oftentimes some confusion around what exactly each one means. And so what I'm hoping to do today is just kind of clear some of that up for you. So first of all, let's start with a pre-qualification. Pre-qualification is typically when I have the initial conversation with the client, and it's simply just that, a conversation. And you're telling me what your income is, what your employment is, how long you've been on your employment, how much money you have to use for down payment, general idea on your credit score, general idea on what all of your debts are in terms of monthly payments, kind of factoring that all in and giving you a rough idea as to what you might actually qualify for when you go to apply for a mortgage. But at that point, that's all it is. It's just all verbal, and it's just a conversation between myself and you as the client. The next logical step then is when you are ready to kind of move forward with everything is we want to do a pre-approval. Now, the pre-approval involves you providing your documentation as far as W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns if necessary. We do run a credit report. And now we are actually able to verify and document what you've already verbally told me. So in other words, if you told me that you make $70,000 a year, and now I get your pay stubs and W-2s, and that all supports that, that's what we're able to then use when we're doing your actual pre-approval. That process there is what allows us to issue the pre-approval letter, which you need to submit with your offer. That's what sellers are looking for. They're looking to see that you've actually been pre-approved, that you have provided all this information, you've spoken to a lender, the credit's been ran, etc. One extra step that we take here with the Mark Scheck team is we actually run you through the automated underwriting systems, Fannie Mae's DU and Freddie Mac's LP. That if we get an approval there, that's further confirmation that you're going to be in good shape because we make sure that all the information has been entered correctly as far as your income and assets, what have you. That way, while it may not be an actual underwriter, a physical underwriter, it is the automated underwriting system, giving us that much more confidence that you're going to be just fine. The final approval is underwriting approval. And that's typically once you've gone under contract and now we have submitted all this up to the underwriter, all this documentation you've already provided. In some cases, we need to update some of the documents if your pay stubs and bank statements are a few months old, for example. So we may update some of those. We submit those up to the underwriter along with what your contract is, what you're putting down on the property, etc. We then have the title report completed. We get the appraisal done. So at that point, that's when underwriting will then approve your file and give us what is referred to as a clear to close, meaning that you've provided everything you needed to provide, and we are now able to move from an underwriting status into a closing status where we'll draw up your closing docs and get you all closed. So I hope this is, clarifying some things. And one thing I want to point out here too, sometimes clients will get confused and think, okay, once they're pre-approved that, everything's good and they can do whatever they want in terms of, changing a job, moving money around, maybe missing some payments on their debts and therefore causing an issue with their credit. So even though you get pre-approved, you want to make sure and maintain everything as far as keeping your payments up, not changing jobs, things of that nature, because that can have an impact when it comes time to get that underwriting approval, if you will, before we can close on your transaction. So listen, I hope you found this information helpful. And if you are considering buying a home sometime later this year, it doesn't matter if it's a month down the road or 6 months down the road. It's never too early to talk to us. So please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to assist you, answer any questions you may have. Start out with a simple pre-qualification, and then when you're ready, move to that pre-approval stage. Okay, listen, you have a great day. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.